Stay tuned for today's episode of Two Guys on a Porch, where we've got a neurosurgeon, a chemist, and whatever I am. Yeah, stick around.
Welcome to Two Guys on a Porch. I'm Jason. This is Bradford. As always, we have my hunting dog, Kimber, by my side with the pouty eyes. Here we are again on the porch, a beautiful day. Bradford and I are two buddies. We've been hanging out for more than 20 years. We pour some sort of brown water. It's always filled with the flavor of friendship. Match that with a fellowship stick, and we talk about life. We don't always agree, but we always learn something and have a great time doing it. So sit back, chill with us on the porch. While you're chilling, hit that like and subscribe button, and welcome to the porch.
I wondered if you were having a hard time remembering your own dog's name there.
Well, it was the pouty eyes. You know, you look into her eyes.
Is that what drew you in when you picked her out?
Yeah, it's like poor
the pouty
girl.
eyes.
Is we're out here at the farm, and she wants to go run and play. She doesn't want, she's about to, oh, we're doing this thing again. She's going to fall asleep, and so she wants to play. Come on over here, girl. You're about to fall off the porch there.
She really is. That's just made it.
Yeah.
Well, this is a landmark day for us. One, it is beautiful on the porch.
Yeah.
So good to be back. And we have a very special guest joining us today.
Indeed.
And it's the man, the myth, the legend. You've heard his name mentioned multiple times because Monty Collins, the proprietor of Mission Cigar and Social in Spring Hill and Franklin, has graciously agreed to be our guest today. Monty, we're glad you were here.
Well, thank you. Jason, I thought you said special needs, not special indeed. So that's probably truer.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
One of the things I'm most excited about is, because we're going to talk about what whiskey we're having, but when we get to the part where we talk about what are we smoking today, I don't have to say a word. I can say, Monty, tell us about what we're smoking.
So going back and just to fill everybody in, Monty and Mission Cigar is where we've been sourcing most of our cigars. And Monty has been a great resource to us. Hey, what should we smoke? What would you suggest? And besides being a great place to meet and hang out, Monty's helped us with these fellowship sticks, and thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, this is a great cigar to have today. I'm enjoying it as we speak.
So tell us, what are we smoking today, Monty?
Well, this is the 50th anniversary Padrón. So they started production in 1964, and of course 2014 they came out with this, and it's one of their tobacco that's aged about 10 years, I believe, and it's one of their really special cigars because it's higher priced. It's in that $45 to $50 range, I believe. But really, most people that smoke the cigar say this is one of them that's worth it. That is actually worth the different price. And you're a Padrón guy, so how do you like it? Yeah.
I would say cigar for cigar is probably the best thing I've ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the legend Fuente Padrón. There's also the converse of that, and the legend Fuente Padrón was probably the best cigar I've ever had, but it's $200 a stick. We also procured those from your store. But in terms of, if you've got a little extra money to spend to celebrate something, man, I couldn't recommend this cigar highly enough.
So this is your shooting, what I'm trying to say, you're about to be shot. Your shooting range cigar, your last smoke. Yes. You're about to be shot.
That's right.
This is the one you're trying to, this is the one you pick.
Instead of last dinner, last meal, this is
for the electric chair.
Well, I think when you're being shot by a firing squad, you get a last smoke, okay? So this is your last smoke cigar. So yeah.
Well, that's good because it would take me a lingering 2 hours or more. Maybe they would get bored and go home.
Yeah. I would make sure I have to relight a few times.
And so let's talk about what we're drinking today, Jason.
Yeah, so Monty and Mission Cigar being in Spring Hill, but also in downtown Franklin, we wanted to have some uniquely Franklin or Tennessee bourbons, or technically whiskeys today. And so we have some great stuff here, something you're probably not familiar with.
Yeah, the first thing we're going to try is this Franklin Distillery 20-year. And you bought it in a store.
Yeah, it was. I went to the just a regular Cool Springs Wine and Liquors, and it was just sitting on the shelf. You'd walk in on a Saturday and here, taste this, and it was quite surprisingly good. It's it's surprising. This is a whiskey that has been aged 20 years. Franklin Distillery, there are a couple of buddies that came together that really to do other spirits, gin and vodka. So they mixed together different plants from the South to create their Southern gin and Southern vodka, as they call it. But somewhere along the line, they said, hey, let's do a whiskey. And this is a single barrel aged 20 years. You just don't see that coming out as your first hurrah, being aged 20 years. And I suspect they got the juice from somewhere.
They did. It was George Dickel distillate. And so that's where they sourced it from. And I'm sitting here marveling that, oh, you bought it in a store, like where else would you buy it? But I think it was a bit of an unintended unicorn because they don't make it today. It's not on their website. There's almost no information on the internet about it. And so I think you found it at that perfect spot of, yeah, it was released, it was in the stores, and now it's gone and never to be seen again.
Right. And so you go into a store and you just sometimes just look and see what you got. You just, you travel around and you go in a local store and you say, hey, what have you got? And this was sitting on the shelf. And this was not something I've heard of course. And they say, oh, this is something we recommend. It's like, okay, yeah, 20 years. I'll go a ringer. It was like on the expensive side. It was a little over $100. I think it was like $125.
Well, I think I saw it for $225, so maybe you paid a little more.
Yeah, so maybe so, but and it was a while back.
Yeah.
So,
well, and so George Dickel, which is Cascade Hollow Distillery down in Tullahoma, Tennessee, is one of the 3 Tennessee legacy distilleries. So even though it's got a Franklin name on it, we're about to drink something that's distinctively Tennessee. And if you recall, you've got George Dickel or Cascade Hollow, Jack Daniels, which is the most prominently known, probably the best known whiskey in the world, and Pritchard's, so which is not particularly well known, but those are the 3 Tennessee legacy whiskeys. And so we are tasting, and Dickel has released some super aged whiskeys over the last couple of years. It's a pretty standard mash bill. You've got a high 78% corn, 12% rye, 10% barley, kind of a mash bill.
Yeah.
As we dig into this, have you had a chance to taste?
No, this is great. It's got a soft nose to it, slight leather, a little floral to it. The palate is soft, comes on slow, finishes with a warm butter oak, very smooth. You can tell this has been aged 20 years. It's got, besides the dark color, it's got that smoothness and that finish that you can't get any other way than an aged barrel.
Yeah, I'm curious, Monty. You're a chemist by training,
Yeah.
so I'm going to trust your nose and taste more than I am my own.
Now remember, because I was a chemist, I probably can't smell anymore, right? I mean, too many organic.
Did you ever lose
solvents.
your eyebrows when you mixed whatever?
No, I really didn't. I was working with not so much chemicals, but with analytical instrumentation, mass spectrometry, and things like that most people know a lot about. So
Yeah, I can't
it.
even say some of those words.
Just say mass spec. That's what
mass spec. That's right.
what they
mass
call
spec,
it. Mass spec. Yeah.
Yeah. This is really nice. This is I'm not. I can't pick out all the notes like you do, and I'm the same way with cigars. I kind of have this dislike. That's because I'm a redneck, right?
We just call that a 2-point scale of good, bad.
Yeah, it's good
like,
or bad,
dislike.
right? And this is really nice. It does have a smooth finish, and it's nice, but it's hard for me to pick out notes. I like that y'all do, but
And you're the only one sitting here with a liquor license. You could.
that's true.
You can kind of get whatever you want.
We do actually have some Franklin Distillery in our shop. So
Oh, wow.
I can't remember exactly which ones that we have, but there's a couple of them. We just started buying from them.
Well, I
So-
will say this is one thing I've been impressed with when we've come to your store is that, yeah, you can get a good cigar, but you also have some great whiskeys, bourbons sitting on the shelf. I mean, you can get a 107 right there.
Yeah,
you
the
can get
antique
several of the
is there.
Wellers.
Yeah. We
I
have
mean,
some
that's-
Stag, and we
yeah,
have some
so
Elmer
that's-
T. Lee.
that's
Did I say that
unique.
right?
You did.
I wanted to say Elmer Fudd because we were joking about it like that, and I know that was wrong, so I want to make sure I said it right.
Yeah, how has that changed your business? Because I know when you guys opened, and you don't serve liquor in Spring Hill, right? It's
That's
just beer.
correct. We just sell beer there, yeah.
So how has that changed and affected your business in Franklin?
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly just good. It added, a nice little revenue stream, probably about a 15% bump in revenue over just cigars. The beer sales maybe dropped just a little bit because people are, buying some more of the liquor. But overall, it's been a nice thing. It's just a nice complement to cigars. I mean, we never sell ourselves as a whiskey bourbon bar first. We're a cigar first, and the bourbons and whiskeys are to complement the cigar, and that really works nicely as long as everybody's behaved.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
most of the time, that is correct. Every so often, we'll get someone who overindulges.
I was going to ask, have you had anyone that's been overserved?
I've had to ask one or two people to leave, but that's it. Really, it's been very small amount. Probably two people I've had to ask to leave because they overindulge a little bit. And I know, you just don't know what sometimes when people walk into the store to the shop what they've had before they've come.
They come
So
preloaded,
we may only
yeah.
serve them one drink, but then you notice that maybe that's the last drink they should be served.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's always a tricky thing, that liquor license. But I suspect a place like Mission Cigar, it's a good place to hang out. People aren't coming there to get wasted. It's not a bar. It's a like our porch. It's a place to have fellowship. It's a place to kind of hang out with your buds and talk, not get wasted. I mean, that's not the point.
And look, I know people are watching and listening who don't live near Franklin, but Franklin is one of the most attractive tourist spots in the state of Tennessee and all of the Southeast. It's written about in every magazine, and if you have an opportunity to come to Franklin, typically guys with your wife, there's a lot of antique shops, there's a lot of places to shop. What Franklin was missing was something for guys to do when their wives went shopping.
Yeah, the daddy daycare.
That's right, daddy daycare.
Yeah.
And Franklin, our Mission Cigar, has really filled that void.
Mm-hmm. We get a lot of tourists that come by already. Again, the ladies are out shopping and the men don't really care to shop, so they come and sit in and enjoy a cigar for an hour and a half and have a drink, and it's a really nice time.
Yeah, and you're a block off the square.
Yeah.
You're a block from the Harpeth Hotel, which I say the new Harpeth Hotel. It's been there, I don't know, half a dozen years at this point, which is a Hilton Curio property. So one of their higher end hotels. So yeah, people can walk over from there and just hang out for the day.
Yeah. We get that a lot, and it's great because you get to meet a lot of different people from all walks of life again, and they just come in and fit in, and it's a really nice old house that we've made into a cigar lounge, and it's just really comfortable, I think, and it's inviting for conversation, and we just really enjoy it, and I think our customers have as well.
Yeah, and I want to get into kind of the culture and personality of Mission a little later.
Okay.
But I want to get into kind of your background and what got you where you are today. So you didn't grow up, and if you're listening to us, Jason and myself, you'll pick up a little twang from the Southern accent, and you talked like, a newscaster being from the non-accented Midwest to some degree.
That's funny. I'm from Southern Indiana, from Evansville, Newburgh, and I spent some time in Indianapolis, and they say that area doesn't have much accent, and I guess that's true.
Right. Yeah, David Letterman's from that area.
Yeah. He's
went to Ball State. He's a big Ball State fan.
There's a couple of us came from Indiana.
Yes. So, and I referenced the fact that you were a chemist by training.
Yeah, I did my undergraduate and graduate work in analytical chemistry, and then I worked at Lilly Pharmaceutical in Indianapolis for a number of years, and a lot of it was, again, it's interesting and boring at the same time, but molecular weight determination. Some of these chemists would go make stuff in the lab, and they're like, "What do we have?" It may have some, some antibiotic type behaviors, that sort of stuff, and so they got to figure out what do they have, and so they would come to our labs, and we would run our our tests, and we would come up and tell them what the structure was and what the molecular weight was, that sort of thing, and that helps them then decide, if this is something they should go forward with and develop.
So I know eventually you went to work in a family business
Yes.
that your father had.
Yes.
So how long between you graduate from college, you go work for Lilly? Was that the only job between school and going to work for your dad?
Yeah.
So how long were you with Lilly?
Yeah, so I was with Lilly close to 4 years, and then just one day my dad and brother called and said, like, we need our contracting company needed some help, and my wife and I were looking to get closer back to her family and to mine, so it seemed like the right timing, and so we just moved and went back to Evansville, and I started running the contracting company. And
What type of contracting?
It's actually applying the coatings, protective coatings onto asphalt parking lots.
Okay.
And striping parking lots and everything to do with the parking lot. Crack
Really
sealing.
exciting, glamorous business.
Again, I have in a glamorous life. That's why I'm like, why are you having me on here?
You warned us that you were boring.
Yeah, exactly. And that is coming out now. You're hitting all the great phases of my life right now.
No boring people, only interesting
No.
characters.
No, but it's hard work, and you learn hard work. And one of the nice things, just like I was painting at my daughter's house yesterday, and you see something in your labor right then when you're painting, and the same
Yeah.
thing with parking lots. You take an old parking lot, and at the end of the day, it looks almost like new again. And so you see something for your labor. It's like mowing grass. You go out and you work,
Exactly.
and it looks great right then. Whereas when I was in the research area of things, you may work on something for years and not get any fulfillment of that labor. They may just nix it at okay, this compound's not going to work, so we're just going to go on to the next one, right?
So obviously your chemistry degree, I assume you majored in chemistry, really didn't help you. You just gave that up at that point, or?
It didn't help me in the application side of it. We also had a manufacturing side, and it did help in.
Well, I'm talking about going from Lilly back to your dad's business.
Right.
So that was a big change in your life
Big change.
saying, okay, I don't like where I am now, and I'm making the conscious decision to get closer back to family. That's what I heard you say, is you made the move because of getting your wife and your family, getting back to closer to your family.
The other side of that is the fruit of your labor, because when you're working for a big company, one of the things that bothered me was that I was working really hard, but I got the same raise as the guy next door that was sleeping all day long. And that really bothered me. So I felt like going into small business that I could get the fruit of my labor.
Yeah.
And you referenced the manufacturing side of the business.
Right. So the chemistry didn't help with the application side, but we also had a manufacturing business. And so helping formulate the product, I did use my chemistry there some.
Okay.
Yeah. But not to the degree I was.
And what did y'all manufacture?
We manufacture the coatings.
Okay. For the okay.
Yeah, for the parking lots.
Gotcha.
So and we end up
vertical integration of your business there.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we end up selling the contracting company in the year 2000, and then just really focused on the manufacturing for a while up until the year 2013 when we sold to a big company. And that was nice. It was really nice, and it was really bad all at the same time. I was telling him earlier.
Well, and I want to ask a couple of questions about that, but this may be a good opportunity to maybe try the next iteration of what we're drinking. And first of all,
this is really nice.
Yeah, I thought so too. That what I picked up on the nose initially was kind of that buttery caramel kind of nose.
Are you still on the Franklin? Or
yeah, I hadn't even moved over yet.
Tennessee.
I was, lingering in that. Yeah, thank you. Those would be two distinctly different meanings. And I'm looking at the proof here, and as we've done multiple episodes of this show, and the idea that, man, it's hard to make good high proof whiskey.
Yeah.
Where you taste it and you're not just slapped in the face with alcohol. And they've done a brilliant job on this.
And this is
It's 123.9.
This is?
Yes.
You would never guess that.
Exactly.
Never guess that.
Yeah.
And
Most of those are
it's
too
a
hot.
single barrel as well. I mean, that's something that Willet doesn't do. I mean, Willet makes the high proof, but it's not a single barrel. And so,
I think their purple top are single barrel.
oh, I stand corrected if that's the case. I didn't think they were.
Yeah, I think they are.
Okay. But regardless, it's quite remarkable that in a single barrel that high a proof, you don't get that burn to it.
No, it's
Not at all.
Yeah, it's really.
I would have guessed 90 or 100 proof.
Yeah,
Max.
yeah.
So this is a sleeper on the shelf, is what we'd say. If you find it on the shelf
Right,
somewhere,
if you can find it on the
yeah,
shelf. Right.
I mean it's knowledge goes a long ways. If you find it, grab it. You won't be disappointed. And I also like I like how it's the handwriting on the bottle. Something about that. If
somebody took the time.
Yeah, if a distiller takes the time to write the proof and the details of it, the mash bill on it, it says something to it. It's really putting themselves into that bottle.
What's just struck me too is I tasted it again with kind of an intent of what am I picking up, and it had kind of a bright flavor on the front, more of a citrusy kind of a taste on that front end, which again at a high proof you're not going to find that.
Yeah, and it's not over oaked. It's like I was mentioning earlier. It's a smooth finish with that. It's kind of a buttery oak finish to it. It's well aged. Yeah, I love it.
So Monty, we've talked a little bit in the past. In fact, when we did a live episode at your shop in Spring Hill, we talked about what the chemical impact, what happens when they char the barrel and those types of things. Are you able to offer any insight into that? I'm putting you on the spot now.
Yeah, no preparation here, so
because it brings out the wood sugar.
Boy, I really like this Padrón. This 50th anniversary is so smooth and great. You can't go without life without having one of these. What was your question?
Yeah.
So never mind. So moving on to let's do this Tennessee Collective.
All right.
And Jason, you procured these back in December.
Yeah, so this is another interesting bourbon, actually whiskey.
Right.
Because basically 12 distilleries on the Tennessee Whiskey Trail got together and said, hey, let's put something together. And everybody from people you've heard of before, like Jack Daniels, to people you haven't, smaller distillers, they all donated a barrel. And so 12 barrels, they all took them up to Sugarland Distillery in Gatlinburg. Greg Edom, the master distiller up there, he might, like Ashley Barnes, he might consider himself a master mixer, not a master distiller. We talked about that before one time. But anyway, Greg Edom up there at Sugarland mixed these barrels. And so it's all sorts of, there's not a mash bill because it's 12 different barrels. Some of them, like Jack Daniels, is the Lincoln County process. Other ones, Old Glory. I've forgotten all. There's 12 of them, so there's several. There's different mash bills, different ways of distilling, and this is what it's a Frankenstein. And so this is a one-off. They made it in 2025, and that's it. They only had those 12 barrels, and Greg mixed them, and this is it.
Yeah, about 2,000 bottles.
That's
is that
it.
right?
Yep. And so Leaper's Fork was part of it. Leaper's Fork is another local distillery. They donated a barrel. And wow, it's. I've cheated. I've had this before because when I got it, I popped it open. What really impressed me about it? It has the rye characteristics. It's got rye whiskeys in there.
And you like rye.
I do. I like it more than Bradford does. Yeah. But I do appreciate the softness and complexity wheat brings to it. And so this is a Frankenstein. It's something in between. What did you think about it?
Well, I'm curious. You joked about the fact that being a chemist, you lost your nose. Did you pick up a nose on this? Because I did not at all. I couldn't smell anything.
I don't smell anything.
Yeah, there was no bouquet to me.
Yeah, so this is not, I've forgotten the aging of it, but this is not long aged. So the nose is faint at best. Where this comes through is that mid palate and finish. There's not a nose to it. The mid palate, you taste. I'd like to think I can taste a little bit of Tennessee charcoal in there. And it
I
comes.
do get that. You're right.
Yeah, and then you kind of go more with those classic spicy, a spicy apricot, a
Yeah.
smooth finish. It's not as smooth as the Franklin there, 20 years old.
Well, and I was going to ask because you made that comment, and I agree. What do you guess the proof to be on this, Monty?
On this, see, I would say it was lower as well. I would say it's probably in that 90, 94.
So
or
you
something.
think it's in the same range in terms of taste? You thought it was a lower
Well,
proof.
I get a little bit more. I don't know what. See, I don't describe things well, but it hits my tongue differently. It's not as smooth. It's got a little bit more of a sour is not the right word, but it's just a little bit different. I think that's probably the rye because I'm not a big rye guy.
It's
like you,
supposedly
but-
talking chemistry with the chemist, so it's dangerous. But,
No, it's not. Not for you.
It's
That's a
it's
long
the
time
it's the quote unquote impurities. It's the things they try to get out of there. Supposedly, it's the acetones in there that gives it that. In wine, it's tannic taste. In bourbons, whiskeys, it's that acetone. They try to get that out through the distilling process
Hope
and
so.
aging.
That'll make you blind.
Well, yeah, well, that's methanol. You want to be careful. That's
Acetone will do it
yeah,
too, I think.
that will blindness and kidney failure. That too. So
How about
yeah.
that?
But besides that, it's all right. Now, but yeah, so those are the impurities there. I think the difference here is the aging.
That could be. This is 119.6.
Yeah.
In terms
Well,
of proof.
it's
So
really smooth for that proof.
yeah. So it is very high proof, and to me, it's not nearly as good as that Franklin Distillery.
agree.
Is this kind of considered like some people call it an infinity pour, where you use like the last little bits of your bottle, and then you just kind of taste it at the end?
You know
got
what?
12 different.
That's a great way to
Distilleries.
put it. It's like a professional infinity pour.
Yeah.
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 Professionally blended, but effectively, that's what it is.
Yeah. We're gonna start doing that at the Mission. We're gonna start doing all
When people don't finish their drinks.
No, exactly. Hey, you shouldn't waste it, right? I mean, it's too expensive to waste.
Alcohol will kill the germs. It'll be fine.
Now, who got sick during COVID? It wasn't us drinking bourbon and smoking cigars. I'll tell you that much.
That's how people survived the Spanish flu, right?
Exactly.
They went back and looked at it and they, just case report studies that the incidental things that people who had some sort of alcohol survived the Spanish flu. So, go figure.
I agree with it.
If my great grandfather had not been a teetotaler, he would have survived.
That's correct. And drinking is healthy for you. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
From the neurosurgeon himself.
Yeah.
See that? Say cigars the same.
Yeah, absolutely. All in moderation. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So let's get back to you sold your contracting business in 2013, and you had an obligation to them. The sale was contingent on you working for. No, that was the manufacturing.
Yeah, we
side
sold the
you
contracting in 2000, so that just went away so we could focus on the manufacturing. In 2012 or so, we were approached by a couple of big national companies, brands that wanted to buy us out. We weren't even for sale, but there's always a price, right? And
You got to make me leave price.
yeah,
And
and
that's what he
Ooh.
gave them.
so
Ooh.
right. So we went and they got a little bit into a bidding war, and in the end we said this is what we would sell for, and it was 2 or 3 times what we were worth.
Was that a difficult? It's a family business, so was that a
Yeah,
difficult family decision?
It was an easy decision at first because there were some headwinds against the industry, and so it was a good time in a sense to get out. But at the same time, it was like it was our baby, right? We had grown this baby from
so
scratch.
your father's still working there?
He wasn't. He was retired.
He was
at that
retired. So
point.
who in the family was still working there?
So
at the
just
time?
my brother and I.
All right. So,
Yeah, so
it's your
we're-
family business,
Yeah.
and your dad's retired. Your dad started it. It's
Right.
so it's family
He
tradition at
started
this
in
point.
1980 when the interest rates were like 20%. I mean, he had to borrow money off of 20% in
Wow.
order to fund the business. So yeah, it was
Credit card rates.
exactly back in the Carter days, when the interest rates were really high and inflation was
Did
high.
you just make a political statement?
I didn't
No,
mean to.
No.
That was a factual statement, not political. That's factual. But yeah, it was, so there was a little bit of grieving after that. It was weird. I didn't know that that would happen. But there was a little bit of a grieving process after that, because it's like, this is what you work for. And I grew up on the parking lots, even in, good grief, in 5th grade, my dad would come down and say, someone didn't show up, you got to work today. And so I'm out working on the parking lots in the summers, from 5th, 6th grade on up for $2.50 an hour, that.
And I know that you worked there for, 10 years almost? For the company that bought you guys.
For the company that bought us, I worked for about 8 years. We had a 5-year contract. I didn't think I would, after about day 30 or even day 1, I was like, I'm never going to be able to make this. It was so hard to adjust to
and
running your own
didn't.
business. Yeah, he made it about 3 years or so. And it was just so frustrating, when you've run a business a certain way and the corporations come in, you think it's exciting at first because you think they're going to do things so much better. They have so much more knowledge and resources and marketing and all these things. And oh my goodness, it was lacking in how they approached it.
So what enabled you or made you willing to stick around longer than your obligation?
Well, one is I have 4 kids in school, and as we know, that's expensive.
Okay.
So I had to get through that, and I also got. At first, it was really hard because I'd never been on a road salesman, and all of a sudden, after they bought us out, they put us on the road, and here I am, like traveling all of Tennessee and everywhere else, knocking on doors, and that wasn't really my thing in life that I'd grown up wanting to be. I know it's a good profession, but it wasn't my profession.
Right.
So that was hard, but at some point I got elevated into the national product manager, and so now I'm taking care of the whole product from everywhere, from the engineering side and training and marketing and everything there is to do about the product, I was in charge of. So that made it more interesting and challenging to me for a while. And then the corporate weight has got in the way for me.
And by this time you were in Tennessee. You'd gone to school here, but you had moved back.
Yeah, we moved back in 2012.
Okay.
So, and it was part of just trying to grow the business in Tennessee. So that was fun, and it was getting closer to, again, my wife's family. They all lived in this area, so it was nice. She was like, hey, we lived half of our lives with your family. Now it's time to live the other half with my family. So we tried that for a while, and still trying it.
Yeah, so I want to spend more time with you on the porch this afternoon, and we'll continue this discussion. And thank you for being willing to stick around. And so we've tasted.
Did you ask?
We did.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that. Did you?
Hey, you're here now. You're not finished with the cigar. You're pot committed.
I'm in it. I'm good.
So yeah, we'll continue drinking what we've tasted, and continuing with our Padrones, and hope that you guys stay tuned for the next episode of Two Guys on a Porch.
Remember to like and subscribe and hang out with us. Never miss an episode. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Please like and subscribe, rate, all the stuff you do on all the social media platforms. Thanks, guys.
Let us know what your drink and cigar of choice is at TwoGuysOnAPorch.com, and you'll be entered into a drawing to get some Two Guys on a Porch swag